Okay. So as you guys know, I am a Sandler System President Club guy. Paid 10 grand to get in the Sandler System in the President's Club version of Sandler. So I've been a Sandler veteran for years, and it's a 7-step approach, and I've only introduced it. I mean, if you know about it, it's because you were on the boot camp training page, which has the Sandler system. If anybody around NAA, they've seen it. I call it the ATM funnel, right? ATM submarine. Okay. And basically it's taking someone through the process. And really what it is, because I've been getting into this lately, this is an aside. Tell you what, the stuff I'm learning and the stuff I'm going to learn on creating funnels, sales funnels through social marketing. I mean, I paid this guy a lot of money to teach me, and he's going to teach me. He's going to walk me through it, make sure my funnels are working, and he's going to do everything for me. And then I can duplicate it for recruiting. I could duplicate it for sales lead development. And maybe we can get these leads at $5 a piece. That's how good these funnels are, and high quality, high intent, right? It's going to take some time, but he's teaching me everything. So I can't be more excited about that, right? But the bottom line is you're going to have to sell them, right? So it's one thing to have a lead, but if you're not going to dial them. So the premise here is that you're not a scaredy cat to dial the phone, okay? So I'm sure I probably cut out about half of y'all. Well, it's okay to be afraid of dialing. It's not okay to not dial, okay? So you can start out afraid, but as long as you dial the phone, you're going to get over it, okay? And maybe I'm making a gross generalization of the 23 people. I mean, really, how many of y'all just love to be on the phone dialing? I don't know anyone that, only very few love to do it. But the rest of y'all have to do it. You have to. That's how we get in front of clients, right? And it's just like any sales funnel. So let me kind of draw an analogy for you, okay? And let's talk about, the regular internet funnel. So when someone's searching, when they're on Facebook, it starts with an ad, okay? And the ad has to be something compelling for them to want to look into it. So immediately, the first part of the funnel on the ad is they're looking and we're looking. We're looking for clients that have this need, right? And they're looking for the product. Okay, so that's really the first step. Okay, so it starts with a consistent message, and it has to be niche. Okay, you can't make it this big broad thing, because people aren't looking for, they're looking for the niche. The niche is what their brain is already looking at. You know what I mean? Like they sent in a direct mail lead. So that's why I like direct mail leads, is because why? Because they got to get a pen. They are reading this form. They go get a pen. Then they got to fill in their name, their birth date, their height and weight, their smoking status. Then they have 2 slots for the husband and the wife. They have gender, date of birth. So I really like the mortgage protection direct mail leads because they got to put all that stuff on there. Then they have to fold it up, stick it in the self-addressed envelope, and go to the mailbox and mail it. Okay. Do you see how the process of direct mail leads, why it works? That's why they're like $60, $65 a piece, because there's some amped up level of intent, right? So how do we know that they were looking for mortgage protection insurance? We don't. That's why we send out a bunch of letters to people that just got a mortgage, or they have gotten a mortgage within the last year or two. And then, so that's the interest. The interest is they're in their mind, they're looking, they see this form letter, it's what it is, and they open it up. It's like, yeah, we need this. And we're talking a 0.25% return rate. Okay, so out of 1,000, right? Out of 1,000 mailers, you should get 4 leads back. Okay. Now, 1,000 lead mailers could cost $500, $800, to get back 4 leads. Is that right? 0.02 point. It's not a 0.25%. It's 2.5%. So 1,000 times 0.025 times point. Oh, 0.0025. Okay, so 2.5 leads. So you should get back 2.5 leads out of 1,000. So you spend 8. So if you were going to do it, I had someone tell me, well, I could just go to courthouse. Yeah, you can. You can do that. Okay, but it's only like a 0.25% return rate. Okay, so you imagine how much money you have to. So it can be hard. It's harder, but those are the ultimate. Like back 20 years ago, when we were paying $10 for these because the return rates were 4%. We're making money hand over fist. I mean, our show rates were high, our close rates were high. We were selling a ton of return of premiums, so they're paying higher premiums for it. So, but today it's harder. People aren't picking up the phone like they had been, So anyway, so my point is, these people are looking. It's like opportunity and preparedness come together. So our niche there is mortgage protection. Okay, the niche could be estate planning. The niche is the niche. The niche is life insurance sales agent. And that's pretty broad, right? For recruiting. See, these funnels work with any type of thing you're selling. We're selling our opportunity with our recruiting. I tell you what, man, I'm super fired up about creating funnels properly in recruiting. But first, you got to capture the lead. Then you got to present the lead. Okay, the person. So this is like how a funnel works. And I'm just rudimentary, right? Because I'm not expert at this. I'm only regurgitating what I've learned so far, which is just amazing to me. And I'm probably cutting out some stuff. But the bottom line is, there was a need, which is that. Okay, so you got the ad. There's a need. So that's why they clicked on the ad, right? Clicked on ad. Okay. So our first opportunity to pitch them is the landing page. So what do we want to? So what would get a client to click on an ad? Okay. So it's pain. Initially, it's really kind of pain. You're not saying how great you are. You're not saying we are the #1 seller of mortgage protection insurance in the nation. You can't attract people with that. They don't care about you. They care about them. And when they're turning in a mortgage protection lead or final expense, they're concerned about what it is for them. Or if they're sick of spending $2,000 a week on leads, booking 40 to 60 appointments a week just to make $300,000 a year, they're working 6 days a week, or even in some cases 7 days a week. That's our recruiting person. So we start off with kind of a pain. It's really kind of a pain funding process, really, but it gets them to click on the ad, right? They have pain. So what is their pain? Well, mortgage protection. When you die, will your family have to sell the house? And you hear the ads on the radio. When you die, will your family have to sell the house? Where are they going to move all their stuff? Okay, if it's recruiting, are you tired of the lead grind? Right? If it's final expense, when you die, will your family have to pass the hat to pay for the funeral? Right? With images. So you got images of a bereaved family, or a picture of a foreclosed sign on, on in front of a house, foreclosed. Do you see what compels someone to click the ad, right? It's not about us. We are the #1 provider of final expense insurance in the United States. We are so great. We do $30 million of sales a year because people love us. Nothing like that, right? And so when this compels them to click, after they click, what do they see? Right? And so we got the message, bottom line is, we can solve your problem. And then we reiterate their problem, right? Then we offer examples of other people that have worked with us that took care of it. Nothing like stories that sell, right? This is where you tell the story. Right? We can solve your problem. You know, why it's been waiting so long? We can do it now. It won't take very long. And we've got 25 carriers that will help us find the right product for you. But you get to decide how much you want to pay. You get to decide how you want to do it. You're totally in control. I'm just here to guide you to making the right decision for your families. Okay, it's just warm, fuzzy. This is my job, is to help you. Okay, and we got to convince them. Okay, so the mess, we can help them. So we move them more forward in the funnel. Okay, so they don't know what the process is. So what is the process? How are you going to help me? Is the question you're answering. Again, it's a funnel, right? How are you going to help me solve my problem? And then this is where we tell them, we're going to do this, 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 and this. And the likely outcome is you're going to have your family protected, and you're going to go to bed tonight feeling good that when something happens to you, this turns on and this will take care of your family. Would that be something you would like to do? You are telling them the process and then let them make a decision, right? Process, what's the process? Then they make a decision. Yeah, everything looks good. Let's move forward, right? Okay, so in a sales funnel on the internet, once you lock them down with the process, it's closed. So you basically, what they're doing is they're setting an appointment on your calendar. Okay, this is the internet. Okay, I'm not talking about face-to-face. They're setting, but it's the same idea. They're booking an appointment on your calendar. They're going to be committed to showing up, right? And then when they meet with you, that's where you lock down the quote. Then you write it up. Then you get referrals, right? And then you make sure they want to hold on to it. You know, the placement of persistency. Okay. So the whole entire sales funnel process, whether it's on the internet or it's in your backyard and what you're doing, selling, it all follows a very similar process, even telesales, right? Take them through a process, take them through a funnel. And by the way, our funnels, we're going to improve our recruiting funnels like crazy. You will not believe we're going to get some serious results being. I'm fired up about getting this kind of help. And I spent a lot of money. You know, the initial investment was $4,500, right? $4,500, you know, because I think it's going to be worth it. Okay, so I gotta read my chats. 2.5%. Okay, you got that, George. It's 0.0025. So if you guys think that you can produce these better than our partners, the vendors that we use, please do it. Try it. Try it. You think you're going to get better numbers? I don't know. Okay, George, does that make sense, George? I want to make sure you understand that I'm at 0.0025 return rate. Okay, so that's 2.5 out of 1,000. So you spent like $500, $800 on 1,000 lead letters. Oh, by the way, you got to get enough data. So you might have to go to 3 counties to get enough data. Okay, I don't think George is on anymore. Maybe I'm boring people. I could be, that's for sure. Okay. Anyway. So let's look at our sales funnel. Okay. I think George is working. That's right. So what's our sales funnel? Our sales funnel starts with bond and rapport. Okay. Then we go from bond to rapport to upfront contract. Man, I used to teach this stuff all the time. Okay, I'll explain all this stuff. Then finding pain. Yeah. And then the budget step, making sure we know that they can afford it or that we're going to fit it in their budget. Letting them know what the decision process is. Then we fulfill all expectations, fulfillment. Yeah, I can spell. Man, I'm just feeling so ragged out with this antihistamine, so I apologize. Fulfillment and then post-sale. I'm sorry, fulfillment. Oh, post-sale. Okay, that locks it in. Oh, I know. I'm just being facetious, George. Although I can't get boring. I really can't. I definitely understand. So this is our sales funnel. Whether you're doing telesales or in-home sales, this is our sales funnel to refine what it is we're doing. Okay, refine. What ought to spit out of here at the end, and this is why the process works, is you should close 75% of the people you sit down with. Our leads are only as good as 75%. If you're not closing 75% on face-to-face meetings, you are doing something wrong. And typically where you are blowing it is here. This is where you blow it. Bond rapport, the clients don't trust you. You don't make clear what's going to happen. The upfront contract, and then you're not good at finding pain. You suck at it. If you're going to spend any time, your time is in bond rapport and pain finding. Upfront contract's only about 2 minutes. And this whole process takes about an hour, another half hour for the electronic application, okay? But all through the process, again, there's a funnel. You can eject clients from the process, okay? So let me say this, the premise of all of this is it's okay to fire the client. In fact, I hope you fire the client because it makes you feel better about what you're doing. You are not going to beg a client for sales. You're qualifying whether or not they're worth your time. Does that make sense? The whole premise of our sales funnel, the standard sales system, the ATM submarine, okay, we call it a submarine, is that you don't move forward until you close the compartment. So portholes. We all live in the yellow submarine. Does that kind of look like yellow submarine? Okay. And so to draw the submarine out is bond and rapport, upfront contract, pain, budget, decisions, fulfillment, and then post-sale. Okay. The reason why we use the sales submarine is that the compartments on the submarine are watertight. Okay, which means they're airtight. So if a torpedo or a depth charge blows a hole in this compartment, you can close up the compartment off and pray you're not inside it, so that you can save the rest of the ship. So you can close this compartment and it floods, right? But this compartment's safe and all the other ones are safe too. Okay, so the reason why this works is that it's the funnel. Funnels funnel things out as well as funnels funnel things in, right? But there's this ejection part of the process. You're getting rid of the pretenders, getting rid of the tire kickers. But you can't get rid of all of them, because if you got rid of all of them, then, you know, even though you're trying for a higher closing rate, the problem with trying to get rid of all of them is that you're going to lose sales. So the right flow is 75% close rate. The 25%, the ones that made it through the funnel, okay, well, they made it to showing up, and then 25% don't deserve to be clients as you're taking them through this. So you can't move to upfront contract unless the bond rapport is done. Okay, if you don't have a crappy bond rapport, you feel like the client doesn't trust you, I would not move out of bond rapport, because you are not going to sell anything. And if you do, it's because you were so good at talking them into it, it becomes a chargeback later. So raise your hand in your mind if you love chargebacks. That makes sense?
Ay, carambas. No,
Okay. Let me do this. You guys chat at me if you have questions. I'm sort of monitoring it, but I'm kind of not, because it's over here. Okay, so you can't move forward. So, Alex, what if I just got that feeling like they really are not tracking me? Like I said, you're not supposed to go forward. Joe and Mary, look, can I call timeout? And you can tell by body language. I've got hour-long videos on each major compartment, okay, that talk about bond rapport. Like, one of my best bond rapport is, what is it called? It's called, oh, you want to know about bond rapport? No, I think it's called something else. It's the definitive bond rapport. It's one of my best videos I've done. It's a very comprehensive bond rapport teaching. I'll look it up, so I'll make sure you guys get it. But you don't get bond rapport right, you don't move on. So if it doesn't feel right, and you will be able to feel if the juju's good or if the juju's bad. If the juju's bad, stop, collaborate, and listen. It's a little vanilla ice there. So you put the process on ice, ice, baby, right? You say, I'm sorry, Joe Merrick, I called timeout, and you're sincere. They're going, yeah. And that's called a pattern interrupt. You're in this pattern of trying to create bond rapport, but they're not going there with you. They do yes and no answers, but they don't elaborate. You know that they're not tracking. So, Joe and Mary, can I call timeout, please? They're like, okay, pattern interrupt. They don't. Then you say, I'm getting the feeling that. So you can never be confrontational when you say that I'm getting the feeling that. For some reason, you're not really tracking with me, and it sounds to me like I did something wrong to make you mad at me. Fall on your sword. So pattern interrupt, okay. Pattern interrupt, softening statement. I'm getting the feeling that. Fall on your sword. That's how you answer every objection. That's how you bring up if the GG's not good and you're trying to address, you know, time out. I'm getting feeling like you guys are just kind of somewhere else, and I'm sure it's something I said or did. What did I say or do to make you feel like this? And I shut the heck up, because he or she who talks first loses. So I'm not going to say anything. I'll stare at him. I'll just keep staring at them, and I'm not going to say a word. I'm not going to rescue them. In the standard world, it's called rescuing. I will never rescue them from silence. Silence is your friend. It makes them feel uncomfortable that they're going to have to say something. And usually when they say something, they don't want to lie. They want to disclose everything. But it helps you start moving them forward, okay? You get them into the momentum of moving forward. I'm getting the feeling that I'm just not tracking. You're not tracking with me. And I must have said something. Okay. So that's really a version of what we call negative reversing. Okay. Let's see how much time I have. Oh man, there's so many good techniques here that, oh my gosh. So let's talk about the pendulum. This is buy, this is lose. There's a client that wants to buy. So what a lot of you do is you do the salesman technique of doing features and benefits, why they should buy from you. You know, because I'm an experienced agent and I can help you make the right decision. We have 25 carriers. The Alliance, we do $60 million of insurance a year. We've got all the great carriers. Ever heard of each of Omaha, Transamerica, AIG? Great. I know you've heard of those, and we're going to get you to grade A companies, blah, 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 blah. And what happens when you try to pull the client? What happens to the pendulum? The pendulum has this tendency, as you try to pull them up, to go this way. All of a sudden the defenses come up. And you're trying to pull them this way by convincing them why they should go with you. You're talking too much, dude. Seriously. You got to negative reverse them. So you're pulling them this way. And then their momentum is to go here. So negative reversing techniques, and you can look it up on YouTube. There's some great videos on negative reversing, but it's like, so it sounds to me like I must have done something wrong to make you mad. We're not tracking here. What did I do that was wrong? You're pulling them over here, pulling them this way. Well, you know, there's nothing that you did wrong. It's just, you know, we forgot you were coming out. We've got a lot of things going on in our lives right now. It's just not a good time. How many of y'all got the not a good time excuse, right? It's not a good time. Okay. Well, so let me ask you a question, Joe and Mary. Again, negative reverse the crap out of them, man. So it sounds to me like you probably have plenty of insurance already. Like if you died, the house is probably paid off, and you probably don't even need this then, do you? How many of you guys have the guts? Sorry. How many of you have the guts to ask that question? But Alex, they might say that everything's taken care of. Right. Why sit down if in their mind they don't even know why you're here because we've got everything taken care of? You're bringing out all the reasons that they already have. You want to know what you're dealing with. I want to know that they're thinking that. Because if I go all the way here to show them the rates, and I don't know that, I don't pull that out, they're going to give that to me here. And I've spent already half an hour with them. By the time we get here, 45 minutes, and I've wasted time because they had that excuse that I didn't address. Does that make sense? So I want to bring that stuff out. I'm telling you what, man, you got to have the courage, the guts, the pelotas to ask that question. Only a good salesperson can ask that question. Because you're always selling. You don't ever stop selling. Because when they say, well, yeah, we're pretty much taken care of. Oh, okay. So what you're telling, so I'm confused. You're telling me that you got everything taken care of. Then why did you fill this form out? What was it about this form you filled out? Ask the obvious question. Ask the obvious question. Why did they fill it out if everything was good? See, you're selling, man. You're always selling. So, okay, so I'm confused. Help me understand. You fill this out, but you've got everything taken care of. It just seems like you put your birth date, your height and weight, you sign the bottom of the form. So that's why I'm just, help me understand what was going on. Well, Alex, at the time, you know, it was kind of urgent, but okay, but what? But again, that's another great technique. But you get them continuing to speak. But you know, we just got caught up in stuff. It's just way too busy, not a good time for us. Okay, well, great, awesome. I mean, I'm busy too. I barely had time to come here on time. I'm packed with people that want to take care of this. So, so I'm curious then. So tell me what happens when you die. Okay, I know you don't have time, but if you die, is your family going to stay in the home? See, I'm coming to pain, man, because they're giving me excuses. Well, I mean, we'll figure it out. Okay. Well, just so that your wife knows what the game plan is, let's figure it out now. What do you need to figure out? That you already got it all taken care of? I'm making it awkward. I'm asking them hard questions because I want to know whether I need to leave. Okay, and then when they say, or if they say, well, look, there's a lot for us to think about and stuff. Absolutely, I know it's a lot to think about. But again, I'm still relentless. I'm going, but when you die, what most people do in your same situation, so you use that what most people do, is they take about half an hour with me to get it all done so they can go to bed tonight knowing that their family's taken care of. They can still stay in the house. Okay, now I'm going to reverse them. So that's not important to you, that the house is paid for when you die so that you feel good that your family's taken care of. That is not something important to you. I'm moving here. See what I'm doing? I'm moving them, negative reversing them because they move here. And so he goes, no, I didn't say that. Okay, help me understand. No, then they're going to start selling themselves, selling me. Well, I mean, I want to make sure my family's going to be okay, right? But okay, now you're starting to bring out all the stuff, okay? And then they use a wishy-washy word like okay. I want to make sure my family's okay. Okay, so never let a client give you vague, wishy-washy words. I want to make sure my family's okay. Oh, okay, clarify, what does okay mean to you? Well, it just means that they can still stay in the home. So when you say they can stay in the home, does that mean that they can still afford to make the mortgage payment without your income? Because when you die, not only going to lose you, but they're going to lose your income, right? Yeah. Huh. So again, how much do you make? I'm in pain planning right here. How much do you make? Well, I make 80,000. Okay, and so percentage-wise of the household income, what does that represent? What is your wife? Just rough numbers, round numbers. Use round numbers to ask a softball question on income, because you're not in the application yet trying to get income. You're just ballpark numbers, round numbers. That helps people feel comfortable telling you their income. Just ballpark it for me. 25,000, 30,000. She makes 30,000. Okay, so wow, you make 80,000 of the 113,000 that's coming in the home. Remember, ask the obvious questions. And so, what is your mortgage payment again? 1,500. So your family, when you die, your family loses 80% of your income. They're living on how much would they be living on your 30,000? Okay. So how big a chunk would 1,500 for the mortgage be of what's left over after food, after all the necessary bills, after cable, after putting away for your kids' tuition for college, after private school? How much is left over? And then negative reverse them again. I'm sure they could probably afford that, can't they? You are like sticking it to them again. You're pulling them back again. He goes, no, they can't. You see what's going on here? The dynamic is you're negative reversing and pulling them. And they move forward into, they're feeling it, right? So that's how you handle, remember, pattern interrupt, softening statement, and then asking them questions and giving them the message. They have to be on Tuesday. Prospect City, you already had insurance through the VA. I asked them, why'd you fill out this form? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I gave you a little bit of, that's kind of a sidebar, Your Honor. Your Honor, can we have a sidebar? Anyway. So again, if the bond report sucks, then call a timeout. Don't continue deluding yourself thinking that you have this great rapport with the client when you don't, because it's going to blow up later. You see the funnel. And like if you just can't get them to move, Alex, we're just, okay, fair enough. Listen, when you're ready to make a move, here's my card. I want you to call me. Well, aren't you going to give us rates and stuff? No, it doesn't make sense to give you any rates because you're not ready to take care of your family. Okay? Doesn't sound like you're ready. See, they want to steal your rates. How many of the people have stolen your rates from you because they're a better salesperson than you? Right? They sold you on giving up your rates, and then they give you the think about it. You're thinking, oh man, I made a sale. Brother, sister, you didn't make no sale. You just faked yourself out because your client's a better salesperson than you. You suck compared to your client. You know what I mean? Plain and simple, baby. You're wondering what the heck. You blew it. Remember, you should close 25%. You need to get rid of them like a bad fungus, like a bad habit. You're not going to close 25%. So maybe it's either that person is part of the 25% or you suck. They were in the 75 percentile range and you sucked at bond and rapport. Okay. So once you feel like the juju's good, then the upfront contract's simple. It's like, okay, Joe and Mary, look, it's a very simple process. We work with 25 different carriers, 13 different Medicare companies. We just got a lot of these companies that we're going to help you with, but so I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions to further find out what you need and why you need it, so I can be very specific as to what program is going to be best for you and your family, both budget-wise as well as will fit your need. And you know what? You can stop the process any point along the way. You're totally in control. I'm just going to help you and guide you towards finding the right solution for you and your family. Is that cool? Is that all right? So it's okay to tell me no, you want to stop and move on. Are you okay with that? Oh yeah. I just empowered them. See, the problem why they hate salespeople is salespeople don't give you a choice to say no. Salespeople typical salespeople try to railroad you into a decision, okay, that they weren't on board with. But when you empower them through the upfront contract, you empower them that they can make a decision to say, no, we don't want this, we don't need it. So you let them know that. What happens when you give them control? Then they let the guard down. They want to interact with you because they know they can say no. Now let me ask you this question. It's not a trick question. Who's in control? The one asking the question or the one answering the question? Anybody? Chat at me. Who's in control? Asking. Exactly. Asking. When you are doing the asking, you're in control. You're making them feel they're in control. You've empowered them. This only takes 2 minutes. Okay? Then we go into pain finding. So after you've told them what's going to happen, told them a little bit about our company, okay, I'm going through the ATM mentally. Now we find pain. So take me back, Joe and Mary, to when you fill this form out. Okay, that's how you start the pain process. Take me back to when you filled the form out. What exactly were you looking for this policy to do for you and your family? And then shut the heck up. Stop talking. Please, God, stop talking. You talk your clients out of working with you because they should be doing 70% of the talking. You're only doing 30%. That's how you know you did a good job, right? So the pain process is everything I did before, okay, when I was answering all those. So the pain process is also a funnel, okay? You take them from feeling well to get them to feeling sick, to get them to feeling terminally ill. Then you get them to feeling well again. Okay, just like any funnel on the internet, right? That's the pain process, helping them, reminding them the problems they're going to have. And I did the whole pain funnel before when you're answering that objection. Okay, you're negative reversing the crap out of it. By the way, you can find all these questioning techniques in that book, Asking Questions by Anthony Garrido, and it's a Sandler book. Okay, it's the best book. You want to learn how to ask questions to get them through the pain funnel. Excellent, because they talk about negative reversing. They talk about reversing. Reversing is asking a question when a question is asked of you to maintain control. Okay, so that sounds like, so Alex, is this going to cost a lot? It's like, I don't know, George. That's a great question. Okay, you acknowledge, right? I don't know, George. That's a great question. You compliment. That's a great question. Why is that important to you? Never assume. See, another reason why you guys don't close is because you assume everything about the client. You got to ask the question. Well, it's kind of obvious, Alex. I mean, you got to be able to afford it. They're just sucking you in, man. Well, I mean, I got to be able to afford it. Absolutely. In fact, I'm here to help you do that. My specialty is helping people like you, Joe, be able to afford something that you can put in place for your family so that it's there when your family needs it when you die. Okay, so that's my job, is to make sure it fits in your budget. So really the budget part is not a big deal. Okay, we're gonna help you with that. Okay, does that make sense? Again, ask a question. Reverse. Why is that important to you? Like, here's where you guys get sucked into big time. Well, except this is one of those return of premium type programs. And then all of a sudden your tongue hangs out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does. Oh, my gosh. In your mind, you're going, oh, this is a big sale because this guy's a smoker. Yes. You're acting like a puppy dog. Oh, it does. You know, the smart salesperson will go, huh, wow, that's an interesting question. Why is that important to you? I don't understand. Well, I'm just finding out because the guy that came before you, they quoted us $350 a month, and there's no way. So if you've got one of those type of programs, really, you should leave. Oh, wow, really? He showed you one of those programs? Oh my gosh. You know that's going around, don't you? Like, there's a bunch of people, a lot of my clients I've run into, where people have talked about those return of premium programs, only try to squeeze more premium out of them because they get paid more money. Yeah, I've heard that's been going around. I've heard about those programs. No, I'm not here to talk about that program. Is that okay that I don't talk about that program? You see what I did? I totally diffused the bomb. And I asked why, because I didn't walk into the trap. I asked why they asked the question. Well, now I know they don't need return of premium. In fact, I will like draw them close to you by saying, yeah, I heard that's going around, man, in this area. These agents are trying to sell these super high priced policies and the client can't afford it. And all they're trying to do is just make more commission off you. Yeah, I've heard that's going around right now. That's not what we do. You know, did I say we offered return of premium? No, I didn't say one word about it. That guy doesn't want to hear me talking about return of premium. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. That's why you got to know why they're asking every question. And you fall in the trap, man. And then that's why you don't close. You fall into the stupid trap. Don't fall into traps. Ask a question with a question. It's called reversing. Okay, asking a question with a question. Negative reversing is phrasing it negatively, drawing them away from making a sale. And then they want to buy from you. It's psychology that works. It's the Sandler system that works. It's our ATM submarine process that works. It's our sales funnel that works. Okay. So let's say you found the pain. They just, you know, and unless they phrase it, like I'm going to have them tell me, I'm not going to put words in their mouth. You know, that's the worst thing you do. So Joe Mary, which is basically, You want to make sure that your family's be taken care of. They can live in the house mortgage free and everything like that. We can help you with that. You put it in their mouth and you told them you think that's a closing technique when in fact the client didn't articulate it, right? You're just one of those slimy agents that are trying to do suggestive mind tricks on them so that they're going to want to, because you're suggesting to them what they should do. It's like, man, don't do that. Please stop doing that, okay? You can rephrase, but you got to get them to say it. So tell me, Joe, what do you want to have happen today? Because it sounds to me you have a compelling reason to make sure that your family wants to stay in the home. And when you die, because they're going to lose like 70% of your income. So tell me what you want to have happen today. Well, I really want to take care of this. If you did the pain right, I really want to take care of this. This is something that, okay, sure, because, look, we've got a lot of great products, great services, but if you're certain that this is something that you need for your family, then I'm all in too. So you're needing this now. Yeah. Okay, great. So let's talk about budget. Budget's everything, right? You don't have unlimited funds, do you? To spend $500 a month on something like this, right? Oh my gosh, if it's that much, yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Let me ask you this. When I find a program that we can fit in your budget, or when I find a program that doesn't fit your budget, it's too expensive for you. I want you to tell me that that's the case, because I don't know what your budget is. I don't know what, I'm going to try to guess, but I need for you to be upfront with me that it's too expensive, because I'm very creative at trying to find something that fits in someone's budget. There's a lot of things that we can do, but I want to make sure you tell me if it is, because we can come up with a better solution. So is that okay between you and me, that you can tell me it's too expensive? Yeah, that's great. Made it through another filter. He goes, well, we can't afford nothing. Huh. So what do you mean by that? You can't afford nothing. Clarify that for me. Well, right now we got all these bills. We got a blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, I'm confused. Okay, that's a softening statement. I'm confused. You told me how much you need it, how much you need to protect your family, but now you're telling me that you have zero budget for this. Now, if I found you some, so that means that, like, if I found you something for $1 a month, then you're not interested. Is that true? Well, I mean, if it's $1, see, you're getting them to move. You see what I'm doing? I'm getting them to move. I'm keeping the conversation going, not just shutting down. Oh, so you can afford $1 to make sure your family's protected. Huh. Well, what if it were $10? $10 a month. Do you go to Starbucks? How many Starbucks coffees do you order? Those are like $5 a pop. So if you gave up, 2 skinny lattes, that's $10, right? Okay. Well, we want to make sure it fits our budget. Absolutely. That's why I'm here. Can I explain to you what a budget is? Or what do you mean? Can I explain to you really what a budget is? Well, I guess, sure. Okay, so this is Joe and Mary. Okay. And you both make together $110,000 into household income. Okay. And so isn't a budget really priorities? So let's say, what's your first thing that you want to make sure you take care of? What's the first bill, no matter what, come hell or high water, you're making sure you're paying it on? Oh, mortgage payment? Perfect. Absolutely, that'd be mine too. Because you got to have a place to live, right? Yeah. Okay, what would be number 2 in your hit list of most important bills? Well, do you have car payments? Do you need your cars to get to and from work? Oh, yeah, we got car payments. Okay, when you add it up together, you've got, I saw 3 cars out there. Yeah, the total, it would probably be about $750 a month. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so what's the third most important thing that you need to make sure it's taken care of? Well, our utilities, gas, water. Okay, cool. So what would be number 4? Cable. Your cable bill's got to be, your cable and wireless bill's got to be somewhere up here, right? Oh, well, yeah. I mean, what do you have for cable? Do you have Netflix? Do you have Hulu? You have all that. Um, would that be more important than, food for your family? Well, yeah, you're right. Food. Okay, food. Number 5, your cable slash um, your wireless for your phones. Okay. So Joe, do you see what I'm doing here? Really, a budget is a priority from 1, 2, 3, then get down to 12, 13, 14, 15, and maybe down here it's, summer vacation, or maybe down here is, I don't know, eating in fancy restaurants, whatever. But your budget is here, isn't it? You have a budget line that you can't go over. So isn't a budget really a priority of what is important to you financially? Well, yeah, it is. It is. Okay. So let me ask you this question. Do you just pay your mortgage payment? What does your mortgage payment consist of? Doesn't it consist of PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, right? Yeah. So if you're $1,500, your mortgage is what, $1,500? So if you're $1,500, I mean, how much of that do you think is insurance costs? Oh, well, I'm just guessing, maybe a couple hundred. Okay. Oh, car payments. Do you have car insurance? Yeah, we got car insurance. How much do you pay per month for your car insurance? That's about $300 a month. Okay, so it's not just the mortgage and not just the car payments. There's insurance here. Like if you get in a wreck of your car stolen, right? You've insured your car. You've insured your house against fire damage or whatever, right? So if anything should happen, so you've got insurance to cover mortgage, insurance to cover car payments. That seems to me like that's number 1 and 2. But who's on the top of this priority list? Who makes the money possible? I circle. I shut up. Does that make sense? So when you say budget, you're saying priority. So you're telling me, Alex, this isn't a priority. It's down here. But our life insurance is down here, not up here like our mortgage insurance and car payment, car insurance. Oh, no, we're not saying that. Okay, I got it. That's how you talk about budget. So you get flights. You go through this so you can get the objections. Okay, then once you get through the budget, you know that they understand that they can afford it because you're going to get them something they can afford. Remember, 75%. Okay. Then the decision. Now, let me clarify, Joe and Mary, the decision-making process here, so it's really simple for you. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you more specific questions about your health, and then I'm going to choose which carrier is going to be the best one for you. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is going to lay out, and I'm drawing this out. Okay. I'm going to lay out 3 options for you, 3 premium options that I'm just going to try to fish around and see, So I'm going to give you option 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to lay out, how much coverage. Then I'm going to come up with the pricing. Okay. So this will be the most expensive option. This is the cheapest option, and this is the medium option. It'll cover certain aspects of what you need, but just depending on budget, we can really narrow it down to what you can afford. Okay. And then once you pick an option, let's say number 2 is the option you pick, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an electronic application And then we're going to see if you qualify, because that's really the first step of the process, is to see if you qualify for what we're putting you in for. Okay, so that's why we need to be very specific as to your health situation, that you are as accurate as possible on your health, right? You're accurate as possible on what you can afford, that there's no guessing for me on what you can afford and what you want, because I want to make sure that I totally satisfy what you're looking for and that it totally fits you. Okay. So once you do the electronic application, we're going to see if you qualify. That's really all we're doing today, is to determine what you can afford, to see if you qualify. Then it's going to come back, and if you qualify, great. I'm going to deliver the policy to you. Everything's good. You got your family taken care of. Okay, you're going to sign off that you received it. Everything's rocking. We're fired up about that. Or they could decline you and say, you know what, based on your medical history, based on what you put on the application, we just can't offer you insurance. So if that should happen, I'm going to come back, and then we've got 25 carriers. So I'm going to find the next best one that can handle your particular health issue. Okay, does that make sense? So this is a process over the next week, 3 weeks, 3 months to make sure you get the best policy that you can afford, that you physically can qualify for. Does that make sense? That's all we're doing today. Are you and Mary good with that? And then I sit there and I shut the heck up, man. This is why I don't get to think about it, because I already told my phone what's going to happen. And I'll even say that it's like, so tonight's really not a think about it night. There's nothing to think about because we don't even know if you're approved. Okay. The think about it happens once we know you're approved, and then we can determine if we need more coverage, less coverage, if we need to bring the price down, or you can afford more. We can do that later, but at least we'll know that you're able to get the policy. Does that all make sense, Joe and Mary? Can we move forward then, and I can work on some quotes for you? Yes. Again, it's a funnel. Or they say, no, we can. You're going to pull out through this whole thing any objections. You want to know what their objections are. And then fulfillment is doing what you said you're going to do. You're going to ask them questions. You're going to find 3 quotes that you're going to fill in on the form. And then you're going to say, okay, Joe and Mary, this is option 3, blah, blah, blah. This is what it's going to cover, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now this is option 2. This is what it's going to cover. And then option 1 is what it's going to cover, and blah, 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 blah. Now, and I give them the pen. I turn the page to them. Circle the one that best meets your needs and budget. And so while they're circling, I'm going to my laptop. I'm pulling the electronic application up. And I'm filling out the application. I'm going, okay, now, Joe, what is your social security number? Click, 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 click. They're still deciding, but I'm clicking through it, getting the YEP going, because it's a done deal, right? It's a done deal. So fulfillment of my commitment to them, that I'm going to find something they can afford, and their fulfillment of their commitment to me, that they're going to pick one and then we're going to apply. That is the fulfillment of the contract between them and me, right? And then once everything's in, it's submitted, life's good, okay? Then I go into the post-sale process to lock it down. So let's say you pick option 2, it's $129 a month, okay? And it covers whatever it covers. Say, okay, Joe and Mary, we've submitted it, everything's good. So let me ask you, if they, should they approve you, then I'm going to get you, the thing back. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to check back with you. But I'm going to check back with you now. It's $129 commitment a month for the next 30 years is what you've committed to. $129 that will take care of your family, pay the mortgage off. It's got those living benefits. So if you become chronically ill or critically ill, it'll take care of you. You become terminally ill, you can pull some money out. So it's got all those great features, but it's $129 a month. So Christmas is coming in December. All your bills come in January. So when all the bills come in January, are you going to look at that 129 that's going to be drafted out of your account on the 5th of the month? And are you going to want to call me and say, hey, Alex, I can't afford the 129, right? Do you foresee that happening? Now shut the heck up. I want them to resell me that they can afford it, right? I want them to resell me that they can afford the price. Well, that's, it's a little bit of a stretch, but I really need this. Oh man, when I hear that it's a little bit of a stretch, I am downselling them. I go, you know what? I get the feeling, remember, it's not confrontational. Confrontation is, you can't afford this, can you? Like, who wants to hear that? That's confrontational. You do, the pattern interrupt. Can we call timeout then? I get the feeling like, maybe you don't want to tell me that it ought to be lower. You know what? This policy for $83 a month, oops, it's going to be over here. You know what this will cover? And that's how much it's going to cover. And that still will keep your family in the home, which is what you wanted. So does 83 better sound better than 129? And when you could see them go, oh, yeah, that, you know what, we probably should have picked that. Absolutely. That's cool. That's why I asked the question, to make sure this is something that you can afford, that you can keep over the next 30 years to take care of your family. And down the road, if you can afford more, then I'm going to check up with you every year to see if you can afford more, then we can address it then. We're just worried for you about now to take care of your family. So if you don't come home tomorrow, your family's okay, right? So is it okay if we drop it down to 83? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, I'm going to unlock the application, and then I'm going to go back and change it, right? You locked it in, okay? So once what we used to call push the check back, once I lock that in, then we tell them, so I'm going to give you a call back in a couple days. I'm going to give you a call back. I just want to make sure everything's going to be okay. I know you're going to have questions on this the next couple days. I want you to write them down. So when I call back in a couple days, reiterating, so I'm locking in their head, I call it, and you better dadgum call them back in 2 days. When I call back, I'm going to ask you if you have any questions, and that's when I can address any questions you might have. Is that cool? Now, why do I do that? Some agents are like, oh my God, Alice, you're going to tell me they don't want the policy. I'm scared to do that. Let me tell you what you should be scared of. You should be scared of being broke as a joke, is what you should be scared of. Don't be scared of serving a client and making sure that they can afford it. So you call back. You're looking for buyer's remorse, right? You're looking for buyer's remorse big time. Hey, Joe, this is Alex. Remember I said I'd call you back in a couple days? I'll give you a call back. Talk about trust. You've done everything you said you would do. You did everything you said you would do here. You've given them in control. They've stayed in control. They think you're a good dude. Then you call them back because you said you call them back. You got any questions for me, right? Now, they might have questions. Great. Well, we want to know, will this price stay the same the whole time? Absolutely. Well, we want to know blah, blah, blah. You address the questions. But what you're looking for is you're looking for buyer's remorse again, because it'll sound like this. So you guys got any questions? Silence. Well, it always starts with the well. You know it's not going where you want it to go, but it's going where you want it to go because that's what you wanted to know. Well, Alex, me and my wife have been thinking. It's like, okay, awesome. That $83 a month, we've got other things that are coming up. We're going to be paying off some credit cards here next month, blah, 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 whatever. I go, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Well, we didn't, we really didn't want to, go into it. Well, that's okay. You know what? I'm going to be in your area tonight anyway. I'll probably be done with my last final appointment about 8:30. So tell you what, why don't I come over? We can talk about it. Let's look at it. Let's kind of look at every angle. We've got some cheaper options that we can get you in as a starter policy. Okay, use the starter policy technique as a starter policy, and then we can move you up as your needs, as your income and needs grow, as things get paid off. We definitely can take care of that. So it's not a problem. Okay, so tonight is good for you. Ask a question. Oh yeah, that actually worked out good. See, you want buyer's remorse. You want to know that's what they're thinking. Because you call them 2-3 weeks later, say, hey, I got your policy. I saw that they sent your policy to you. And then what they're going to say is, Alex, you know what? Me and my wife have been thinking, we really can't afford this. We don't need it. Like, look, blah, blah, blah. I appreciate your time, but click. See, you got them in 2 days. 2 days it didn't solidify. It's like cement. They didn't solidify their decision. So there's chances to go back and either change their mind or change their budget. Get them something they can afford. Either way, you're going back to lock it down again because it went crazy, right? But if you call 2 weeks later, like cement, it took 2 weeks to harden that decision not to talk to you again because they can't afford it. You see why this is important to do that, to make sure that it's locked down on the post sale, right? Am I making sense or is this Chinese? My job is to get you the most benefit possible for the lowest price. Okay, that's okay. There's nothing emotional about that. My job is to get you the best benefits at the lowest price. You sound like a robot, Fernando. Well, it's probably working for you, but my job is to get you the best benefit. That's so generic. There's nothing emotional about it. Look, my job is to help you take care of your family. So they're never worried about being able to stay in the home. And I'm going to find a budget that you can afford that you can make this happen. All right. Is that what you want to have happen? And do you see how that's different than I'm going to provide you the best benefits at the lowest cost? I'm going to provide you the best benefits at the lowest cost. I'm going to provide you the best benefits at the lowest cost. I'm going to provide you the best benefits at the lowest cost. Come on, man. Get emotional with them. It's okay. Because you did the bundle report. You can get emotional. It's like, I just want to make sure that you feel comfortable with this, that your family's taken care of. So when your head hits the pillow tonight, you know that if the Lord takes you and you're not coming back, that your family is going to be okay. Is that what you wanting? Is that what you were wanting? Does that make sense? All right. So let me finish up with the funnel idea. What kind of funnel are we really creating here? Okay, I covered a lot of stuff, and this is actually a 2-day boot camp because I used to teach everything about our system on a boot camp, and I would do dialing on Wednesday from 9 to 11, 2 hours to teach dialing, and then 2 hours to teach this next day. So we had our boot camp was like an hour and a half on Tuesday night, 2 hours on Wednesday, and 2 hours on Thursday. Did that every week, and it didn't help anybody better than what's working now. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, huh? It's kind of crazy. Anyway, so the funnel. This is how you know you have a righteous sale. Okay, a righteous sale is you did your job properly to bring in the clients that should be your clients and filter out the clients that should be. And so the criteria is they trust you, so they believe you. They need it. They want it. They can afford it. And then they're going to keep it. If they don't meet this criteria, the 5-step criteria, then you don't have a righteous sale and you should get rid of them. They don't need to be your client. Any part of that process, well, aren't you going to show us the rates? You know what? If I showed you $1 a month, it won't make sense because it doesn't sound to me like you're ready. Do you see how powerful that statement is, man? So how do you create trust? On a rapport is where you create that trust. How do you figure out they need it? This is where you establish the need. Okay? Want it? This is where you establish the wanted. Afford it? This is where you establish the afforded. To keep it? This is the funnel. They got to trust you so they can believe what you're saying is true. They got to need it. They got to want it. They got to be able to afford it. And they have the desire to keep it. This is the funnel. This is our submarine. You take them from left to right. You take them through our funnel, and then you are rocking, man. You're closing 75%. Now, telesales, it's a little bit tricky, or you take them through this, but we have the ATM. All this stuff's in the ATM, right? Anyway,